Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Shieldcoomer, aka Sirigath. It's been a while. I would like to, very enthusiastically welcome you all, back to the channel and to the videos, and let's get together into this lovely season 2, right? Season 2 of Dragonflight. One of the better patches that I personally feel like I've played. Really enjoying the content so far that Blizzard has been putting out in the World of Warcraft, and I also gotta say that I've been looking forward to this season quite a bit. I'll talk about the dungeon, don't worry. I'll talk you through what I'm doing, although I do feel like this is, I decided to do Underrot because I do feel like this is the one dungeon that I feel like maybe kind of like new Shadowmoon Burial Grounds, although I would say that this dungeon is actually challenging, unlike Shadowmoon Burial Grounds. There's not really a lot to talk about necessarily here. There's quite a few things that I'll mention that have potential to cause you a lot of issues, and we'll go over them as they happen. Of course, these packs on the Tyrannical week are not very dangerous, even on a 21. Although I do have to say that because of like the ton of new gear that we're able to acquire right now and all of that, the tuning of these dungeons has been pretty rough week 1. I will walk you through like the gearing, not the gearing process. I'm not gonna talk about that. This is not a channel for that, although I might sometime do that. Actually, it could be a good idea to do that. This dungeon is done with old 4 sets, so season 1 4 sets. I am about 4 to 5-ish eye level right now at the moment of playing this dungeon, I believe. So, the gear is definitely a little bit of an issue in these, start of the season, as it always is, it's, this is where, the men are separated from the boys. No, I'm joking, but for real though, this is very early in the season, so the gear doesn't really carry the content, and you really have to be on top of your game. Healing is being made more difficult by the fact that they have increased the health pools of everyone. I feel like many people are confused with what that actually does. I can try to explain, but I feel like it will be too much of a digression compared to like, I kind of wanted to talk you guys through the dungeon a little bit, but really this start is like pretty tame, so there's not much to talk about. I mean, there's a bunch of things here that just need to be interrupted and stuff, and other than that, I mean, you're just gonna like kill people that, if the group fails to interrupt certain things, you just have to kill them. We're also doing research on who the best PI targets are this season if you're playing Disc. Obviously, the standard like victims for the AoE are there still. You'll get like good value on Boomkins, for example. Also, Feral gets decent value on 5 targets. People seem to think that Feral doesn't gain much from it, but I believe that Haste actually accelerates their dots. So if you're playing fortified keys and there is a lot of targets, actually a PI on Feral has quite a bit of value. It's pretty good. It doesn't beat Boomkin though, for example, but it does beat some other classes that you might not think they beat. So obviously there'll be more sims done and stuff, and they will all be updated on your popular sites. So once more information is out, I'll let you guys know. But as of now, I've had good success PIing Devastation Evokers. I've had good success PIing Fire Mages on Combustion, Boomkins just whenever, Arcane Mages once they're using their CDs on Tyrannical week is a great single target PI. Warriors, as always, great targets for PI. Locks, always good as well. So, just usual stuff, I would say. This is, if you've been playing for more seasons, this is all like old news to you. And if you're new to this season and you're perhaps confused on who you should be PIing, who gets the most value, yeah, I'll make a video about that once people have done the sims and stuff. The math behind these things is very complicated, guys. These are like whole communities that are doing this because like just think about how many different trinkets and gear and builds there exist and stuff like that. So obviously when sims are not like holy grail. Sims assume that the player knows how to use PI, and sims also assume that the player is playing proper builds and stuff. So I would say like one thing is sometimes in the keys I'll be PIing one target that on paper is supposed to be the best. However, if I notice they're not really utilizing the damage that well, like I don't want to flame, I don't want to like say, you know, if I notice they're a bit worse player or something, but if there's like a slightly less valuable target for PI in the group, but like on paper is worse, but in real like life I see they're better, I'll just PI like whoever I see, you know, doing good. And here I've been trying like a bunch of new things, guys. I'll talk about this. I've been promising this for like 3 seasons now. I'll make a very detailed disc guide for keys. It is very interesting. Disc is, I actually feel like this could be a very good season for disc. Our damage is okay. It's not busted. It's not insane. I still think we lose out to. I still think we lose out to Shamis, I believe. But we come with one advantage, and that is the fact that we can DPS while healing, and we do DPS while healing. That's how we heal. So if you take that into account, I feel like in real life scenarios you actually end up with Disc being perhaps one of the top DPSers in the current patch. I guess we'll see, like when everybody gets the sets and stuff. I've gotten my 4 set, by the way, yesterday from the Reclear, courtesy of the new great gearing system that Blizzard have implemented. I'm not wiener riding Blizzard here, just to clarify, but I do like to give credit where credit is due. I think this new gearing system is so strong and so good, and I know it's intimidating to a lot of people. A lot of people might be wondering like, what the hell am I upgrading and what am I even doing? But trust me, guys, like this new system allows you to have access to so much more gear than we previously were used to. Like gearing a character used to take like such a long time, and with the new system, I mean, I guarantee you that like if you play in a guild that is able to clear like heroic in the first like 2-3 weeks, you will have most people with like pre-mythic base gear in like 2 to 3 weeks. Like it's crazy how much you can get. Of course, like you might be missing on some like rare items and trinkets and stuff, but other than that, like you're getting a lot. Everybody's getting tier. I mean, as a healer, you used to have to wait for tier for like 2 months, bro, and now like with so many tokens to find in the raid, and also some you can get personally for you know, reaching certain Rio or AOTC, you can just get your tier so much easier because you're basically guaranteed 2 sets. Well, not guaranteed, but you're like, obviously, you know, I'd assume most guilds are very eager to give you like at least a 2 set because it does get value, you know what I mean, because getting 2 sets has way more value than somebody having 3 pieces and stuff like that. So anyway, let's not get into that too much. I should have talked a little bit more about dungeon. Now I'm kind of regretting it. Sorry, just excited like about the new season, and I just wanted to share my thoughts on it. It's a pretty good one, although I have to say some dungeons have been absolutely demonic to heal on Tyrannical, and Blizzard has of course addressed some of these, and they have nerfed most of the ones that I consider to be broken. Actually, all of them. Actually, literally every single one that I said is broken ended up being nerfed like 1 or 2 days later. So I'm of course talking about the wind boss in well, actually both second and third boss in the Vortex Pinnacle. I'm talking about Naltarian's Lair rock boss. I'm also talking about the worm boss. I'm also talking about the last boss. And you know, before you jump at me, like, yes, I know most of these were doable and people have done them, and yes, I have done them as well on 20, most of them at least. Some on 19, some on 21, but I have done them, and yeah, they're possible, but the amount of like skill and prep and like comms you need to kill some of these bosses is just not okay. And they've addressed it. That's, I want to commend them for that. They have been quick this time to like tune back the bosses and stuff like that. So yeah, one thing worth noting is it's very worth here to play Purge and Disease Dispel. So that's a bit unfortunate because we're a bit like, our class talents are actually really good. So it kind of sucks when you have to lose them out for the for just like purging and stuff, but I'd say like these skeletons, they'll all get a shield, so I'd say it has value for you to play purge. And also disease dispel is really good for the specifically for the third boss. Pretty important, yeah, quite important. Here we try to save the pull. I think tanks just kind of screwed up here, you know, nothing new there, you know, tanks are bad. Especially when they type healer question mark. Nah, I'm kidding. I think the raging's been like, I mean, this first week has been quite menacing, honestly. Like Tyrannical and raging, just like a pretty brutal combination, you know, because yeah, it's just not very fun to like. The one cool thing about Tyrannical is you can usually save time on the boss, on the trash, by pulling big, and raging just kind of stops that a little bit. Raging isn't as bad as it used to be, of course, but it's still quite tricky. Situationally, it can situationally be worse, actually, so yeah. Anyway, guys, I want to talk a little bit about this boss. So this boss, it's a very hard boss, actually. It looks deceivingly simple, and it really is simple, but people need to be adamant about doing the tactics. So he will charge, and the point is you want to bait charge in such a way that makes it easier for you to kill the worms. There's also one cheese you can do here where you can climb with this skeleton, and then the charges cannot hit you if you're ranged, so that can like buy you a little bit of like leeway to heal and stuff. But frankly, there's just not much to heal on this boss, and all you have to do is stomp on these larvae or whatever they're called, like these little maggots. You just have to, because if these guys hatch, you will have so many ads, and these ads apply a nasty dot, and then the fight just gets out of control. So I would like make it like the main focus of this fight is to just stomp on these things and just be like very diligent with that. And here you see me like I'm baiting charge here. Unfortunately, it didn't go on me, it went on somebody who was on the side, but that is okay. Like as long as he stays in this little corner, these little dudes will still be somewhat I guess in place, so you can just squish them. And unfortunately, we're not very good at this. Like feather does help us quite a bit. I mean, obviously using feather is pretty good, so save your feather for that. It does give you like that little burst of speed, which allows you to like cover some distance, but we're not like sprinters, we're not really that mobile, you know, if you compare us to like an evoker or I don't even know which specs. Some specs that used to be the most mobile ones were rogues, and rogues are now complaining that they're the wheelchairs. So I don't know, we live in a strange era where rogues are slow. But yeah, pretty much just whoever can. I mean, obviously everybody should, that's the point. And especially when the tantrum happens, it's very important that everybody does it, otherwise you're gonna get overwhelmed by these. And I also want to say one thing, like when tantrum is happening, it's all about cooldown planning, as always with this priest. When tantrums are happening, I would say that Rupture is a great ability for that. Yeah, just use Rupture, cover everybody with Rupture before he runs, and then obviously deal damage, and you will also stomp on everything, and yeah, you'll basically cover your bases like that. At this point, I think we're just gonna commit to the boss, pretty much. Yeah. Notice how I still use like radiance there. You know, I just wanted to be safe that nobody will die. I timed my radiance so that as he starts running, I do the healing, because he does like a pretty big chunk of damage, and then like the buffed penance into him for that like little extra healing, just to cover everyone up. These two are pretty dangerous, so just be careful. Must respect these two. They are quite cursed. Obviously, like a lot of this is just interrupting, and you know, having a decurse also helps if you, because it allows you to let curse go. But yeah, for this you pretty much need, I think, 4 interrupts to get through.
Withering curse.
And here you see we didn't interrupt, so then everybody gets like minus DPS, and we're still not interrupting. I'm assuming the boys overlapped on the other one, so we just ended up in a pretty bad spot and with like reduced damage and stuff. So that kind of sucks a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. As you can see on a Tyrannical week, at least on a 2021, it's okay. You can live that. It's not pleasant, but it's doable. I mean, this curse is pretty bad for us because like our healing depends on the damage we do, so minus damage means minus healing as well. Anyway, here, okay, this boss. So another boss where it's just so simple. Like this boss is literally a target dummy as long as you do mechanics. So the point is, you want to be breaking all these mushrooms. And if a mushroom stays alive at the point where he's casting Festering Harvest, you're gonna get absolutely fucking murked. You're gonna get stomped. So important thing is every mechanic of this boss is designed in a way that allows you to break these mushrooms. So these upheavals, they're not there to do that, to kill you or anything else. They're there for you to break mushrooms. So when you go there, you place these as upheavals in the middle of the mushrooms, and then you
boundless rot.
And then you just break the shrooms. Now you see we left there 3 mushrooms up. We left the 3 mushrooms up. Oh no, I remember this. So here we were debating whether to reset or not. I mean, at this point, it's hard to tell whether it was worth it resetting or not. But we did waste quite a bit of time here.
Dark echoes.
And then somebody also pulled the worm. Oh my god, this was a complete disaster. How did we time this key? How the hell did we even time this? But yeah, it's just like a pretty cursed situation. I'm pretty sure we're gonna just wipe here intentionally, and then we're just gonna run back. So yeah, I'll just speed this up. Like you guys don't have to watch me run back. I'll just speed it up. So yeah, guys, as I was saying, I mean, you know, good thing I guess I demonstrated why it's so important to break the mushrooms. It's because when he does this Festering Harvest, he will consume every mushroom and deal like the damage boosted by the number of mushrooms he consumed. You know what this reminds me of actually? You know what's a great example of this? If you guys remember the boss in Azure Vault, the first boss, the tree guy. So when he looks like a tree guy, but I guess he's like a crystal golem or something. He's a pretty much like a boss that will also do the very similar mechanic, because if you don't clear the trees with his like frontal and stuff, and with his circles, then he will consume the trees and deal like the amount of damage that he consumed through the trees into you. So it hurts a lot. So like it's very important here that like all the shrooms are cleared, and when all the shrooms are cleared, you see how chill this is. And obviously, as you go on higher keys, people will also need to press like defensives, and you will have to use barrier and rupture to help people stay alive and stuff. But other than that, like this boss is perfect for us. We just DPS here. We don't have any mechanics to do. Just dodge the circles, deal damage to the boss, dispel if people get hit by stuff, and we are being chilling. Really solid boss for Disc. I can see that Disc is gonna be great for this boss going forward. In general, I think Disc is gonna be great for this dungeon because you can also mass dispel the last boss as well, which I will talk about once we get there. But as you can see here, like when he's doing all of this, like see, I just placed barrier and people are barely even taking damage. And that was a cheeky little Holy Nova heal there, I believe. I think I did. No, I didn't do Holy Nova. I just did Shadow Covenant. But yeah, Holy Nova with Rhapsody is pretty good, guys. It is unfortunately very rare that we can spare those 2 points, sadly.
Volatile pods.
But I try to get it where I can. It depends from dungeon to dungeon. On some dungeons I feel like I need less survivability or less utility, so I just drop some defense points. I'll talk about I'll talk about builds in a guide. I'll make a guide. I'll try to get it done this week, guys, and then I'll post it. Look forward to that. I will also be
Volatile pods.
I can tell you what build I'm playing though, I guess, and you can also look it up. Like I always, on all my keys there is link to my Raider IO linked, so you can always check the key itself, or you can check my profile in general, so you can like check which builds I'm playing. Also do keep in mind that sometimes, obviously, like I'm just a human being at the end of the day. Sometimes I forget to switch some things and stuff. So if you're looking at something and it doesn't make any sense, there's a possibility that I just forgot to change something. Like, I mean, I remember one time I timed one of my highest keys, like in season 4 with like a raid build and stuff like that. So like if somebody's looking at that and they're like, oh my god, why is this guy playing this? Is this good? You know, it's not always good. Like, always use like your own brain and try to like understand what people are playing. But it is usually pretty safe to copy what I do, because I do think that I'm up with meta most of the time, and I also play a lot of keys, so I just through experience and decision making, usually I pick like the good talents and stuff that are needed. Anyhow, this trash is pretty chill. So basically,
Wicked Frenzy.
Builds and talents. So you guys remember that Mindbender AoE build that I talked about last season that was quite popular throughout, I would say, most of the season? Well, it's still gonna be the cut between that build and the stronger Penance
Wicked Frenzy.
and the Shadowward Pain build and Smite and everything else. Sorry, I said Shadowward Pain, I meant Penance. Yeah, it's that build is great because picking up Train of Thought and the Blaze of Light basically allows you to utilize Smite and Power Word Solace to reduce your Penance cooldown, which you will be buffing, and it's also buffed by your Blaze of Light. So when you buff it with Twilight Equilibrium properly, and all of these buffs that already are running passively through your talents, you will be able to achieve really strong penances, which you will then utilize to spread your dots. And obviously with the new 4 set, your dots are even stronger. So that is pretty good synergy there, and I feel like it will give us more damage. I will also, of course, as I said, like I have just gotten the 4 set. Not in this key. I'm not playing with the current 4 set, guys. This is old season 1 4 set. I just want to disclaimer. This is old season 1 4 set. You will see the new 4 set in action once I upload the keys that I am doing this week, which will hopefully be within this week. I will try to upload like a bit more keys per day. Might even upload some of the keys like without commentary, just to kind of catch up the pace and stuff. This is something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to kind of release keys in the week that they're relevant, because then I can talk about tips and tricks of the current week for you guys to kind of like, you know, see what's happening and figure that out. So I might just upload these Tyrannical keys like with less commentary, just to kind of catch up, because I mean it's gonna be too much for me to just like upload them all with full commentary. But I'll see what I can do. I'll try. Anywho, 4 minutes for last boss. So we somehow recovered this run. It wasn't the best run. It wasn't the worst one either. I've seen worse. This dungeon, as I said, is pretty chill time-wise, and it's also quite easy and quite doable. So on this boss, there is a couple of things to talk about. This is a pretty tough boss, I would say. Not necessarily not tough, but playing it properly will make things much easier, I feel like. I mean, I guess you could say that about every single boss in the existence, to be fair. But yeah,
Cleansing Light.
It's kind of like you see
Vile expulsion.
This is constant rot AoE, which doesn't really suit this that much. And now, unfortunately, there's quite a bit of fights that are like this in the current season. However, right now we're equipped with pretty good like AoE healing tools since Radiance got buffed, and the new force set, so once again, not the old force set, but the new force set also makes you stronger. So makes Radiance stronger. I mean, of course it makes you stronger, but it does make Radiance stronger. And therefore, well, therefore you stronger as well. So I guess I wasn't wrong when I said that. All right.
Cleansing light.
This guy has what he said basically. It's all about these baits. You know, you gotta bait properly. And you also need to minimize the amount of time you are spending
Vile expulsion.
in the gray, I don't know what it's called, goo, poop, whatever you want to call it. I didn't want to be gross and call it poop, but I guess it is the poop, the poo-poo. Obviously people need to stand in the yellow circle to dispel themselves. Luckily we also can dispel them manually, and we can also mass dispel in case, like, you know, something goes terribly wrong. But I think in general the strat for this boss is to just stack together and to bait these frontals, to bait them into the outer walls in such a way that allows you to then move forward for free, and also move a little bit further so you don't get hit like this, like I just did. So just like moving forward, staying out of this AoE, you kind of have to get a feel for it. Here I was like, you know, limit testing a little bit, seeing exactly how far you need to go and stuff like that, but it's usually pretty chill. And yeah, you just keep healing, you know. You can also pull your radiances. I find that Rupture in these scenarios is usually kind of like a last resort thing. I just don't think right now a Rupture provides enough value when people... Like, I only cast Rupture really like preemptively nowadays. I feel like Rupture is not like not big enough shield to warrant like 5 globals. Like in the 5 globals I can heal way more by just like pressing other buttons, if you know what I'm saying, right? So it's kind of like a last resort thing. And here we got a little blood visage attack, and Tank just didn't pick him up, but we ended up finishing the keep. So yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, if you like the content, make sure you like, subscribe, you know, comment, let me know what you think, and catch you guys on the next video. Much love, guys. See ya. Bye bye.